Jurassic World Dominion is a fine film. I'm not going to be bashing the film because I actually did enjoy it. The only thing we're going to be talking about is problems and how they can be fixed in the film. How I'm going to do this is we're going to break it down into chunks. We're going to talk about the start, the middle, the end, the motivations, and then there's going to be some extra bits in there just to throw them in that I think could have made the film better as a whole. But before that, we need to go through the pros and cons of the film. So in my opinion, the pros are there are good action scenes, especially in Malta. It's a nice way to show the aftermath of Fallen Kingdom. It's a good way to wrap up the World trilogy, and it really does make it into Jurassic World, if you see what I'm saying. However, the cons, on the other hand, is the film doesn't really get much breathing room. They don't really show enough mainland, in my opinion. Biosyn wasn't, well, it was mediocre at best. There were some really stupid motivations in the film. I'm not really sure what was going on there. The locusts really just weren't it. I came to see a dinosaur film, not flying bugs eating corn. So the first way you could fix the film is to completely remove the locusts. And I know that sounds really dumb, because now what half the character is actually going to do? Well, I came up with a couple of ideas of what they can be doing. So you could first put the prologue back in, just throwing that in there because that was great, and they for some reason removed it. So for the Jurassic Park character storyline, which was the locusts, you could, instead of having the damn locusts, you could have something completely different, which is so much better for a dinosaur film, which is to have dinosaurs being extremely aggressive, a little bit like Jurassic World Evolution, which is where I actually got this idea from. And nobody really knows what's going on, but they're really aggressive towards people and animals, and the death rates are going up and up. So you could kind of keep the storyline going in the same general direction, but have, instead of locusts, have the dinosaurs being aggressive and they have to work out what's going on, or something along those lines. And I think that would help with the ending too, because the film ends really weirdly. It ends with just dinosaurs coexisting with people and animals, when that was kind of just going on in the background. It's not really an ending, so that's why I feel like it would probably suit the ending a bit better. But for the Jurassic World character storyline, instead of kidnapping a child and a baby raptor, you could maybe have both the raptors being kidnapped, or, well, not kidnapped, both the raptors being taken. Or just Blue, just have Blue, because Beta felt really unnecessary, and I do not care for Beta whatsoever, so I feel like it would just be so much better just to have Blue. But whatever, really, I don't really care if Beta's still in the film. So I was thinking maybe have poachers take Beta and Blue, or just Blue, and they want to sell them on the black market maybe, because I think the black market was awesome in the film, and they didn't utilize it enough. Well, somewhat. They did a good job with it, but it could have been so much better. So they could take Beta completely out the film if need be, and put more Blue and Rexy content, because there was nothing. Rexy appeared like once, and then another time, which is at the ending, which we'll get to later. And Blue was only in a couple scenes at the start, and in one scene at the end, which sucks due to how important she was in the previous two films, being one of the main characters. So I think the aftermath of this film could be Dr. Wu needs, maybe transport out of Biosyn to spread the cure to the aggressive genes, something that had been put in these animals. And maybe Dodgson wanted him to do this so that he could make a cure, so that Dodgson could profit off of it, or so that people would believe Biosyn is not a very corrupt company, which they are, clearly. And then they'll begin to trust the lies that he's pumping out to them. And because of this, it makes sense why the dinosaurs are now coexisting with the mainland animals and people, due to them no longer being aggressive, and therefore it actually makes sense somewhat to why it ends like that. It's still a bit weak, but it works better than what we got. Another issue I had was the sub-villains, like, the thing is, I don't actually remember their names, even though I googled it before this, and that's the problem. They're forgettable and kind of pointless. I actually liked the black market villains. I thought they were really cool. They were underutilized though, and I feel like they could have been so much better. just extending scenes with them or putting less dodging, because dodging just wasn't very good. He wasn't menacing or anything. Even though Eli Mills was pretty flat, I think the whole Indoraptor part kind of made up for that, I guess. I didn't really see Eli Mills as a villain, it was more so just the Indoraptor. But Vic Hoskins was actually, I mean, he was stupid for trying to put dinosaurs in war, but he's definitely the best villain in the World Trilogy. Another thing they could have done is maybe put more Atrociraptors in there, because in the marketing and when they were leaked originally, which I tried to stay away from, but I got it spoiled for me anyway, they seem to be like the opposite of the Velociraptor squad from Jurassic World, which I thought, oh, they're going to be big villains then. They were in the Malta scene, which is, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes long, and then they just kind of disappear. One of them drowns, I guess, another one just kind of stops chasing them, and you know, it was pretty complicated, which it didn't even need to be. Just have them in more, whether it's like they have more Atrociraptors or Biosyn wanted them anyway, so they take them over there and they appear again. I just think it would have been so much better. Maybe take out the Giga overall and have the Atrociraptors as the villains. I don't know. Okay, thinking about that now, it's a bit silly. So what was thinking about the Giga, so you could build up the Giga more to make it more of a threat, because there was like no Giga content, so I just didn't really care for the Giga. I didn't find it very scary because of that. Another thing you could do though is to take out the Giga completely, put in a Spinosaurus, which is what everyone, well, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people wanted. A lot of people wanted to see the Spino in this film. Maybe make it the villain, you know? Maybe you can have a Rex and Spino rematch, and then everyone could be happy, because it can be 1-1. Spino has 1-1, Rex has 1-1. Yeah, it's kind of even. And I think it would make a lot of people very happy. So whether that's the Jurassic Park 3 Spino or just a random Spino, I don't care. I just want to see a Spino, really. But due to Jurassic Park 3, he was already kind of a scary villain, and I feel like that would really boost this villain as being better than the Giga. If you did have the Jurassic Park 3 Spino, as they did take Sauna dinosaurs, that would be good, because we've already established that it's quite a scary villain, if that makes sense. But the only problem in doing this would be the prologue would have to be very different now. But it could just be the same, just replace Giga with Spino, I don't know. Just a coincidence that these two characters met in the Cretaceous period. I feel like you should take the Therizinosaurus out of the ending fight and just have Rex and Spino. Or just make it longer with Rex and Giga, I don't care. If you're going to keep Giga in, just make it longer, and maybe just have the Rex and the Giga, sorry. What you could do though, replace the Therizinosaurus with a raptor, whether that's blue or an Atrociraptor, maybe like all the Atrociraptors were, you know, killed by whatever the hell happened in Malta. And just have one remaining that got taken to Biosyn because maybe they were just being borrowed. So that sounds silly, but you know what I mean. So they had to go back to Biosyn, and then maybe it helps out in the final fight. I don't know. I just don't think the Therizinosaurus really fit in there. I thought it was cool during that whole sequence with Claire, but it just doesn't fit with the final fight, in my opinion. One issue I had with the legacy characters, the Jurassic Park characters, was Alan Grant. It was great seeing him, and I love Sam Neill, but he did nothing. Like, he was just kind of there to be there. Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum were actually given something to do, so why doesn't Alan Grant have something to do? It just kind of felt pointless. I can't really think of a motivation off the top of my head. I'd have to think about it more. I didn't really think of it until now, so I would have planned it more before the video. But, you know, I mean, he really should have just actually done something in this film. So if you were expecting this video to be a full breakdown on just rewriting the film, I couldn't rewrite the film. I'm not a director, a writer, a producer. I'm not any of those things. I'm simply just coming up with some ideas that could have been used to make the film better. It's still in my top 50 films. I think it's my third favorite. I think it's hard. My ranking always changes. Jurassic World and Park are always at the top though. I think I'd put Dominion third. Even though I love it, I still see so many things wrong with it that could have been so much better. I think that's all the ideas I have. If anyone else has any good ideas or anything that was stupid that I've said, do let me know. Because I'm not as I've said, a writer or a director or anything. I don't know how films work. Well, I do, but I haven't made a film, if you can't already tell. But do let me know in the comments any ideas or anything you may have that you want to add on to this or onto the film. If you have any nitpicks with this video or the film, just let me know. I'd love to hear some suggestions. So that was my how to fix Jurassic World Dominion video. Hope you enjoyed. I didn't enjoy making it because it took me all night to write that. I was thinking, I was like, what can I put in? I just couldn't sleep. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.